family. Welcome back to Seeking God with Lady T. How are you guys doing today, first and foremost? How are you doing today? Was today a good day for you? Was it a little stressful? Was today one of those days? Drop in the comments and let me know how you feel on today, okay? I want to come and you guys, today has been a day for me, okay? I'm a little bit emotional, so please excuse me in advance if my tears take over, okay? I want to allow you to know that it's okay to be angry as long as you don't stop talking to God. Family, I want to talk to you about something that goes overlooked when we talk about Job. We all know who Job is, right? Okay. We love to highlight how Job worshiped God after everything was taken away from him, his children, his health. But we don't always talk about what happened in the middle of his pain. I realized I went back and I was studying the book of Job just a few days ago, and I'm like, I wonder why is it that we always talk about how Job, everything was taken away from Job, but Job still went down in worship. Job pulled off his robe and he said he's going to worship God no matter what, right? And so, but do you guys know that if you continue to read the book of Job, that Job, okay, let me just get to it. Job fell to the ground and worshiped, but that doesn't mean he wasn't wrestling with his emotions in the process. So understand me and hear me out. God is going to allow the enemy, because he allowed the enemy to come and test Job, right? He told him, go ahead, do whatever you got to do, just don't take his life, right? So the enemy had to go to God and ask for permission. That's one. That's first and foremost. The enemy had to go to God and ask for permission to even touch Job, okay? God allowed it, okay? He wanted to see, okay, because I trust that Job is still going to worship me. You saying that Job going to turn away from me. So let's see. Go ahead. Only just don't take his life, right? So the enemy went in, took all of his riches, took his health, and took his children, right? Took everything away from him in one day. We just spoke about this earlier today, okay? But and Job fell down to his knees and started worshiping God, right? He worshiped God through everything. So in the process, Job felt angry. Job felt confused. And he was deeply despaired. In Job 3:1-4, it says, after this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, may the day of my birth perish, and the night that said a boy is conceived, may that day be darkness. So he cursed the day that he was born and the night that he was conceived. Job was so furious. He questioned why was he even born. He felt betrayed, alone, and abandoned. Can we relate? Can we relate? I know I can relate. I just went through all of this. Currently still going through this. To the point where you like, God, can you hear me? God, are you seeing me? God, you said that your children would never go without. You said, ask and it shall be given. God, I'm asking, I'm praying, I'm seeking, I'm fasting. Like, Lord, I even got to the point where I'm telling you guys, like, am I even living for God right now, or am I still living for the enemy? Is the things that I'm doing, is it even worth it? Because God, where are you? Have you forsaken me? Your word says you would never leave nor forsake me. But right now I'm feeling a little forsaken. Which is the reason why I went and studied the book of Job. Because I was looking for answers while I was in the midst of my turmoil. I'm like, why is this happening to me? What's going on? Why is I'm not hearing from God? I'm praying. God, I don't hear him. I'm fasting. My situation isn't changing. Like, what is it? And then when I got to the point where I got so angry and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this no more. Yes, I got to the point where I said, I do not even want to do this anymore. What am I doing this for? If I can be quite honest, I was questioning me living on this earth. If it wasn't for my children, God forbid, that's how deep I was in my mind. That's how confused I was. That's how abandoned I felt. The one person who I felt like should be here for me no matter what is not here for me. The people that I helped when everything was good on my end, the people not even necessarily help. Let's say I didn't help everybody, but I did things for. They was nowhere to be found. I'm pretty much begging people to assist me. And I'm like, Lord, I know this is not how you want me to live. Or I'm having to do the things that I don't want to do, or put up with certain situations and certain people that I don't want to, that I know is not of God, because I'm trying to make a way. So because I was seeking help, I was seeking information, I was seeking what is this? What is happening? Because see, this is my first time ever being in this season. And so as I'm seeking, I'm not finding too many videos to tell me, I can't get no one on the phone to say, hey, this is just a process. Well, people were saying this is a process, keep pushing. But wasn't nobody making me understand what I was actually going through. So this is the reason why I studied the book of Job a little bit more. And so when I got to the point where Job got frustrated, where Job was like, I feel abandoned. Job was like, how can God have the people who's not even living for him live greatly? And I was a man who was living for him, who never said anything bad about God, who did everything the way that I was supposed to do. And this is what I'm getting? I was thinking that. I was thinking, Lord, it's people out here who's doing great. It's people who done left their families. It's people out here just living life. And who's not even waking up praying to you, who don't even acknowledge you in their everyday life. And this is how I'm living? But see, we don't talk about how Job fell in the process. But I wanted to make this video, and I wanted to touch bases on how Job fell in the process for the people that's coming behind me. Because now I understand that I had to endure everything, or I'm having to endure all of this because it's part of the process. You cannot grow in God and stay comfortable. So God had to put you in an uncomfortable position. I now understand that everything I went through wasn't to hurt me. God wasn't trying to destroy me, but it was to build me. It was to strengthen me. It was to make me better. I know that now that I'm here, but going through the process, you kind of lose focus. And in going through the process, you have to make a decision. You have to decide if you're going to keep pushing and striving and seeking God and get to the glory of the promised land, or are you going to turn away and just let it all go? See, it's not a lot of us that's going to continue to strive. It's not a lot of us that's going to continue to just keep going down this narrow road. A lot of us going to turn around because it gets heavy. I'm going to be the first one to tell you it gets heavy. The enemy comes out after everything. It gets so heavy. And you just wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What have I done so bad that this is the way that I'm living right now? But it's all a process. It's all a process. And God is strengthening you, and God is He's redoing your mind. He's renewing you completely from the inside out. And I promise you it's going to be worth it. I'm telling myself, I promise, Tantranique, I promise you it's going to be worth it. Keep pushing. And it's hard. And it's hard. But I want you to know that there was somebody inside of the Bible who went through the processes. There's a few people who went through the process. And they was able to receive the promised land. Okay? So again, in Job 3:1-4, it says, after this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day that he was the day that he was born and the night that he was conceived. Okay. He felt betrayed, alone, and abandoned. But even in his anger, even in his frustration, he never turned his back on God. So Job was one of those ones that says, you know what, I'm going to continue to seek God. Yes, I'm frustrated because of my situation. Yes, you took my children and I want to know why. But God, I still trust you. Yes, these sores, I can't, they oozing from everywhere. I can't even go nowhere. I can't lay down without messing up my sheets. I can't sit down. They continue to just ooze. They starting to smell. People looking at me. I like to believe Job was a handsome man because he was wealthy. And now he got all these sores all over his body, on his face, on his everywhere, and they just oozing with pus and the smell and people looking. So you're gonna ask God, why is this happening to me? Lord, I was one of your faithfulness. I was one of the ones who love you, God. Why is this happening to me? Job questioned it, but never did he turn his back on God. He kept striving. He kept pushing. He took his pain to the only one who can handle it. He went to God with it. Family, let this be a reminder. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be confused. And it's okay. God can handle your raw and unfiltered emotions. God can handle your emotions. He's not afraid of your questions or your tears. But like Job, keep talking to God. Keep building up your strength. Keep staying faithful. Keep looking towards the sky. Keep the conversation open. Don't let your pain push you away from him. Let it push you. Let it continue to push you towards him. Don't let it push you away from him. That pain, that hurt, God will be the only one who can handle it. And he's not going to be mad because you're angry. He's not going to be mad because you're questioning. He's not going to be mad because you're in confusion. But it will not be okay if you turned away from him. So keep striving, keep talking to him. Allow him to open up and build you to the point where he will send his Holy Spirit onto you to give you clarification. Understand this, because on the other side of Job's anger, on the other side of his questions, this is the good part, was double portion blessings. So if you are in a season where you're questioning, keep holding on. God sees you. He hears you, and he will restore you. I just wanted to go ahead and break that down because I really don't hear too many people talking about how Job had to go through his process. So never forget that God will not be angry with you. Don't let the enemy get in your head and have you thinking that, oh, you done messed up now. God would never accept you, because God accepts all of that. The only thing that God wouldn't accept is you stop seeking him. So continue to talk to God. Continue to trust. Continue to have your faith. And understand that everything's going to work out in God's divine planning. It's all in God's timing. It's all about God's will. Ask God to allow his will to be done in your life. You don't want anything of yourself. You say, God, allow your will to be done in my life. And put on the full armor of God every day. And a piece of that armor is faith. You have to have faith. If no one else have told you, I am telling you today, I love you. And I hope you have a great and beautiful, blessed night.